Hi there. My name is ML, and this is Healing After Loss. Thank you for joining me. Today is Wednesday, 28 January, 2026. And as always, I'm reading from this book, Healing After Loss, Daily Meditations for Working Through Grief by Martha Whitmore Hickman. If you'd like your own copy of this book, there is a link below. And if you have interest in what I share, if this speaks to you at all in any way, please do all the YouTube things, like, share, subscribe, and comment so that we can have a conversation. I look forward to hearing your point of view. And if you've suffered a recent loss and you'd like to be a guest on this show, definitely comment, reach out to me, and ask to have that conversation. I'd be happy to have more guests on this show to see how this book is helping other people. All right, let's get started. January 28. Feeling better, I also felt a sense of betrayal of my husband, even though I rationally knew that sustained grief could be morbid, because grief may become a substitute for the dead one. Giving up our grief can be the greatest challenge of mourning. Mary Jane Moffat. This may be puzzling to us at first. Surely we know the difference between our grieving and the one for whom we grieve. But it is easier than we know to confuse the two. The one we love is gone. There is no retrieving that person by thinking about him or her all the time. But grieving? That is our whole agenda for a while. To that we can give endless attention. We look for the one we have lost by looking through the film of our ever-present grief. We get used to it, and it is hard to move away. But we must. Otherwise, we will be stuck there at our loved one's death. Let me read that again. Otherwise, we will be stuck there at our loved one's death, unable to relish the life that person lived. Many years after the death of her father, a young woman said, "Finally, I am able to remember my father's life, not just his death. I look forward to the day when images of my loved one's life are no longer associated with the event of my loved one's death." I remember at my mother's funeral services, prior to her death, she always wanted to join the Red Hat Club, which, if you don't know anything about it, it's a space for older women to socialize together, to be activists about a community cause, to make their corner of the world better, to make it right. And I could be completely wrong, and if you're a member of the Red Hat Society, then please, by all means, reach out to me, comment below so that I can correct myself, because I haven't done any research on this, because I'm only just remembering this thought. Mommy never joined the Red Hat Society, but she always wanted to. She always thought that she would be a good candidate for it. And one of the things that these women do when they gather is they wear a red hat of some kind, but also purple, either a top or a sweater, sweatshirt, dress, whatever. And Mommy had a beautiful purple gown. And she also had a red hat, a bucket hat that she had bought just for her own personal happiness of wearing a red hat and a purple dress. So because I was the only one in the family who really could use much of her clothing, much of her wardrobe, I acquired a lot of her wardrobe after she died. And so for her funeral services, I wore her red gown and her purple gown and her red bucket hat. And I was sort of the unofficial moderator of the funeral services. I had encouraged everyone to write eulogies, and if they were unable to read their eulogies at the services, I was going to stand in and do that for anyone who needed someone else to put voice to their words. So that's what I did, wearing Mommy's purple dress, purple gown, and red bucket hat. And an aunt chastised me for wearing Mommy's clothes to her services, and also for the fact that Mommy never was a member of the Red Hat Society. And I was confused by that. I didn't want to celebrate Mommy's death. I wanted to celebrate her life. And that purple gown and that red bucket hat gave her joy while she was alive. And yes, the grief was very, very fresh for all of us. But how do you chastise someone for honoring their loved one in whatever way they see fit? And obviously, I don't mean you. I mean that particular aunt who's no longer with us, so she's in no danger of seeing this message. It's a funny thing how long we grieve, how much the memories of grief collide with the memories of our loved one's life. And while this is not one of those things that's going to make me gush, weep with gnashing of teeth or anything like that, I don't know if you can see, I am tearing up a little bit over these memories that I have. And I do try at this point, it'll be 20 years this year. So I do try to focus my attention on Mommy, on her life, on the joys of her life, on the celebrations in her life. Because 20 years is long enough, don't you think? And yet I do sometimes still grieve my loss, which marks her death. It's a tricky line that all of us must cross. If we have someone to grieve, then we will cross that line, and sometimes back and forth. Let's just read the meditation and move on. I look forward to the day when images of my loved one's life are no longer associated with the event of my loved one's death. I'll keep doing these every Wednesday. So until next Wednesday, when I see you again, please take care of yourself and go with grace.